Hi there, good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the runner of this channel, or the host of the channel, or whatever you want to call it. And we're here for Monday night's look back at a classic rock album. And I've chose what I consider to be a work of art, really. When you listen to this album, I don't know how else you could take it. This is the Beatles' White Album. Now, I'm going to take it out of the sleeve because it's a little easier to see. So this album, released November the 22nd, 1968. It was recorded, I believe, EMI and Trident Studios in London. It's about 93 and a half minutes in length. Of course, it's on the Apple label, the first one for them on the Apple label, and produced by none other than George Martin. So this is a double album. I'm just going to show you a little bit in case you've not seen this before. So you've got pretty much a white album with some writing on it and a photograph on here. It's a booklet-like thing. And then in the inside, you've got these 4 pictures, one of each of the members of the Beatles during their beginnings of their kind of hairy phase, I guess. I don't know if that's a good way to look at it, but I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to say, how come they have such girly hair, and then all of a sudden they have such long beards and hair? It just didn't seem like the same band to me. But when you're a kid, you're very impressionable and you take up stuff that you probably shouldn't. So anyways, I consider this album to be a very diverse album, one of the first of its kind, I think. There's a lot of diversity on this album, probably more than a lot of albums, which I tend to like these type of albums. I predict that this eventually will become my favorite Beatle album. It just has so much diversity on it. That's what it is. It's the same with, if you look at my two favorite albums of all time, Triumph's Just a Game and Styx's Pieces of Eight, they both have that in their albums. There's a lot of different musical ideas and genres in there, and that tends to appeal to me for some reason. And this album feels like one of those albums. So I decided to pick this album for tonight because I wanted to make sure people understood that I like the Beatles instead of just always attacking them. So quite a bit of stuff on here. So there are 2 albums, of course, as I said. And you get a fairly wide range of music here. So you got Back in the USSR. That's the opening track on this album. Kind of a bitey, heavy track. I mean, it predates power pop, but definitely would qualify for that if it didn't. Kind of a catchy song, too. A little up-tempo, kind of fast-paced. I really kind of like that track a lot. Dear Prudence, which is very different. Another good track, though. I think this is Paul McCartney singing, actually. I'm going to bring up that part of the album that gives you kind of a breakdown of the songs, just in case I need to access it at some point. That is, if it will let me. It doesn't appear to want to. Isn't that always the case? Here it is, track listing. Okay. So yeah, the thing about Dear Prudence is kind of a satirish type song, I think, to me, and I've always kind of liked it because of that. Now, I'm not a huge Paul McCartney vocal. I do like some of his vocals, obviously, but I prefer John Lennon's over his. And I actually prefer George Harrison over his as well, but this one's a pretty good one, even though I know Lennon is singing it, but it's still pretty strong. I believe McCartney does the opening track. That's where I was going with this McCartney thing and kind of got sidetracked because I was talking about 2 things at once. So I kind of like McCartney. I prefer McCartney when he's doing the harder, heavier songs. John Lennon, I like the kind of quirky songs with. George Harrison more of the softer stuff or the straightforward pop stuff. So Dear Prudence, really solid song. Like it a lot. Now the next song, Glass Onion, this is a kind of a montage of stuff where they're talking about a lot of other songs they did before. In the song, bounces up and down. It's kind of an up-tempo, kind of a quirky song, but really good. This is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Glass Onion is the name of it. Of course, there's Obladi Oblada, which is kind of similar to Glass Onion, but lots more piano in this, and it has that catchy part to it, and it talks about things that people already that know all about. Like to me, it's a family song. My daughter really liked this song when she was a kid too. She wanted to sing it all the time. Wild Honey Pie, another great track. I do like this and the other version, which or the other song on the album called Just Honey Pie. Both versions are really good. The continued story of Bungalow Bill. I like this track because it's kind of goofy, even though it does have Yoko Ono doing some vocals here. I'm kind of okay with it, though. It's not too bad. Bungalow Bill, quirky song. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, this is a well-known track, of course. George Harrison, I believe, on the vocals here, without a doubt. Yep. And then you get the last song on the first side of the album, Happiness is a Warm Gun. Decent, kind of a weird track, but decent enough. John Lennon doing the vocals there. So on side number 2, starts out with Martha, My Dear. This is one of the more nondescript songs. I don't dislike the song. It just never really captured my attention. I'm So Tired. Another track fits in that category too. Blackbird, Sitting on the Dead of Night. Yeah, I always like this track. It's kind of catchy. It's another Paul McCartney track, and I think it's a poppy track, but also a kind of laid-back track at the same time. It's quite good, though. Piggies, Rocky Raccoon. This is another one of my favorites on the album. Of course, I'm pretty sure that's where they got the name for Rocky Raccoon and the Guardians of the Galaxy from. Pretty sure that's where it came from. And every time I see this song, it reminds me of Rocky Raccoon, as it should. It's kind of a, just kind of a satirish type song as well. Pretty good, though. Don't Pass Me By, pretty decent song. Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Stupid story about this one is that they were in India and saw two baboons, I think it was, or two monkeys doing it in the road. Yeah, okay. I Will, Julia's a good song too. Birthday, of course, that's the beginning of side 3. McCartney and Lennon doing that. It's the Birthday song. Catchy, up-tempo, pretty good. Then there's Your Blues, Mother Nature's Son. These are both okay, nothing special. Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey. It takes up the whole line, that song. Interesting choice of words. Sexy Sadie, interesting. Then you get the kind of proto-metal song, Helter Skelter here. Really strong song. Another McCartney-driven track, of course. And then it ends off on that side with Long, 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 which is George Harrison. So the final side of this album, side 4, you got Revolution 1 and 9. So Revolution 1 is the soft version of Revolution, I call it. It's got that heavy guitar, but it's kind of a doo-wop type track. Revolution number 9 is just a psychedelic mix of sounds and stuff. I'm not really even sure what's going on there, really, to be honest with you. The other version of Wild Honey Pie is on this. Savory Truffle. Okay. Cry Baby Cry. And then Good Night, which is the final track on here. Pretty good. The 4 side to me is a little bit weak. A couple of decent tracks, but nothing strong. Most of the good stuff is on the first album, and then some decent, heavier stuff and interesting stuff on the 3rd side. So the Beatles White Album, released back in November 22nd, 1968. One of the Beatles at that point, sorry, I was just trying to get the cover back here. At that point, it would have been, for me, it would have been a run of 5 straight excellent albums, starting with Rubber Soul and going through to this album. A little bit of a big dip when it got to Yellow Submarine. To me is a dip for sure. And it comes back up a bit too with some of their other albums after that. But yeah, that to me is this is kind of ends that period of Beatles albums that are fantastic. The 5 of them are all fantastic albums, deserve more credit than I give them, that's for sure. I know everybody else gives them tons of credit, so that's good. Anyways, that's my take tonight. The Beatles White Album. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about the album or anything that you would like to add or subtract from what I've said, you can do that. Or if you have a favorite track or a couple of favorite tracks, or maybe this is your favorite Beatle album, or maybe you don't like the Beatles at all. Whatever you want to do, you can put that all in the comment section below. And I will see you all next Monday night for another look back at yet another classic album. Take care and have yourself a good one. Goodbye.